Hey guys, so I am back for a UV resin project. So I just have my leveling table up here because I just want to have a level surface. And then I am putting my UV light back to the back because as one is curing, I'm going to want to move on to the next. And my cord was kind of tangled with how I have things. I really tried to have it all like set up. So I have this back off to the side just because I just want to be able to cure. And then I have my, light blockers here. When we're working on the next one, we'll just kind of create ourselves a little barrier. So that is what we have set up for today, and I'm just grabbing a couple other tools that I think I might need, maybe not, maybe we'll see if I do or not, but better to have them. So my daughter did some diamond coasters for her aunt, and I think, yeah, I was like, I'm pretty certain y'all can see everything. And as long as I stay on this pink mat, I know that you can see me. So she did these diamond coasters, kitty cat coasters, for her aunt. And diamonds will like to pop off if you don't seal them. But if you do a full thing of like pourable resin over, it will create the 5D diamonds to lose their 5D look. So I thought that I would try my hand at doing UV resin on them to seal them. So the trick is, it's to not have a full layer over top of them, but to have the resin go just in between, so that the in between seals the diamonds, but doesn't give them to lose their shapes, and you should still be able to feel the roughness of the diamonds on top, so it won't be a smooth thing. So I have our UV resin from Let's Resin, and I'm a little concerned that the top is going to be so thick that going in between each diamond would not do well. So I have a dropper, and it looks funny, but I'll explain. I have an extra fine tip that's on the tip of it, but the thing is that it wouldn't like screw in or sit correctly in there, so I hot glued it together and then taped it. I went ahead and put masking tape up the dropper so that that just helps prevent light hitting the UV resin within while I'm doing it. This dropper is going to probably get tossed after this project, so I'm not concerned about saving it, of course, but just going forward in that sense. I'm going to get us a little cup, and I'm going to, like, this UV resin is probably a quarter full. I have a whole nother bottle, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to pour some in here and then fill my dropper. So I've been thinking about this for a little while. We'll see if this works. I hope that sucks that in. I think it did. What I didn't think about was not being able to see it fill up the dropper. It doesn't seem that it did. Well, folks, that was bizarre. Like, it definitely has air. Wondering if the UV resin is too thick to be drawn in. So I've never tried this, so it's a little bit of a trial and error. Okay, let's just wipe our tip off and try something different here. just do it this way. You know what? If you're not going to go that way, we'll fill you this way. And I'll be able to see when it's full. I'm going to try with what I have in there. It's not a super ton, but I want to try just to see how this works. You know, I'm going to have to, even with this, we're almost coating over the diamonds, so it might not make a difference whether we this is what happens when we do a trial and error on real time, and I haven't tested it pre-recording. I'm just pushing a little bit of pressure on the top of the dropper just to give it enough to squeeze the resin out, but for the most part it's coming out relatively smoothly on its own. I'm not having to push very hard to get that to go ahead and come out. And I realize I'm going over top of some of these diamonds, and that's just unfortunately how it is. I'm going to see if I can't get that resin to go in between and like do kind of a wipe off with a spongy thing before, not a sponge, but a silicone brush before I cure it. But we'll see. If not, we're just gonna cover it and they won't have that 3D look, which is fine. I've done coasters that way with regular resin. I just thought, oh, if we could go in between them, it could keep some of the look better, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's fine. That's fine. You can see pretty certain it's a series out there where I did coasters that she did a cows for my sister, her other aunt. She loves doing these 5 diamond things, and it's a lot of fun. Keeps her entertained. So yes, this is slow going for sure, and I think there's 8 coasters, maybe 10. Okay, yeah, there's 10. Thank goodness not 12, but 10. Okay. So we're going to have to decide if scraping it works, and if not, then we're going to get not as worried about precision. Okay. So I did bring the silicone brush over to my space, and my thought is just to move the resin along, which actually that worked really well. So what I'm thinking, I see some little bubbles, but I'm thinking I can almost just squeeze from the bottle and then scrape it to the edge, and that would work, I do believe. So we're going to start with what I have in here. Might as well use this, but basically I'm going to just put it on and scrape to where it gets in between, like it's not even scraping, it's just brushing, but with a silicone brush, if that makes sense. And I am going to throw a glove on my left hand, since my left hand's going to be touching the edge of the coaster. That way, if I dunk my fingers in some resin, it'll be okay. So now I'm not so worried about going in between the diamonds, because the goal here is just to get every area done and then move that resin around. So that's pretty cool. That's gonna make it go a lot faster than it was going. So, and I'm basically just, like I said, making sure that I'm hitting every area, moving the resin around. Just like this. And then I can always use this brush with this to just kind of wipe off my brush if needed. But we're definitely needing more resin around the edge. And then we will use our lighter to pop some undesired bubbles. And that will also help us see if there's anywhere we missed, or anywhere that needs a little extra, or maybe a spot that has too much. And when you're using your ladder, a little bit tricky to make sure that you're not too close. Resin is flammable, so you do not want to catch it on fire. But do you want to pop them bubbles? Oh, it looks really cute. Okay, so I'm going to use my gloved hand and truthfully, this tray fits so tightly in here. I was hoping it would just slide out, but I wasn't. I was being stubborn. What I was gonna do is just slide her right onto that, and then be able to slide that back in. But that may not be the easiest way going forward. It's just, we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and do that for 5. That way it gets nice and cured. Put up our blocks so that we can start the next one. And with this one, I'm just going to go directly on with the resin. And I'm going to put like a big glob here, big glob there. And I might start leaving this upside down because we'll probably finish this bottle off. Basically, not worried about making sure that it all connects, because I don't want a full thing. I just want enough to be able to move around and in between the diamonds. And we'll add more if we need it. Scrape it off if we need to. That kind of thing. So, and using the silicone brush makes it nice because you can really get up to the edges and scrape off once you have the resin down, because those edges or where those diamonds could, I mean, they could fall off anywhere, but those edges especially. I just want to have a nice coat on them. And let's say we end up with a funky edge that resin rolls to the side or something. We'll be okay because we can use either our Dremel or our deburring tool and pop that UV resin right off. I do believe it's going to need a smidge more. It's not as filled as I would like it to be. So, possibly. Okay. I think we'll be okay. If it drips a little in there, then I'll clean it up. Is my thinking. I feel like it's about the right amount. But it's not overly thick. So we still have diamonds to be able to see. It's not overly thin. Maybe a little thin in that area. Yeah. I think that's looking pretty good. Let's hit a ladder on it. Just see what we see. Yeah, there's a patch there that's missing some resin, a little patch there. So just got to keep track of where I'm seeing those. Okay, so we're up to 3 patches. Right in there, right in there. And I'll do another scan over just to make sure, because I know now I'm kind of going around and adding to spots, but like there are a couple that I was like, oh, I don't know if that was where I really need to put it, but let's see. Oh yeah, we gotta do more right there. That looks like the biggest spot. And it's enough that I can just probably use what I have here. Yeah, I think that's nice. Let's check this baby that's in here and see. So she should be cured. Oh yeah. Nice and cured up. And I don't think those diamonds are going to go anywhere. So that's perfect. So the back side has like a little cork board so it doesn't scratch a table up. But yeah, those are cute. And now I think the diamonds won't go anywhere, and they still have their 3D look. They don't look flat, which is nice. So I think that's pretty perfect. So go ahead and pop you back in for 5 minutes. So this light, if you've watched any of my other UV resin videos, you know that it goes 2, 3, and 5 minutes. So I am using the 5-minute mark just because I think that that's going to give it a nice good cure. I will keep these all separate for about 24 to 48 hours just so that they're not sticking to each other. So I actually have this cookie tray from Dollar Tree. I had put paint on it because I was working on a puzzle and I needed the white paint to help me see the pieces and not be silver shiny. I know that was way more than you needed, but that's why it's white. Alright, let's start here. This guy, this orange kitty. Just orange, Bubba. And I don't think there's like an exact science here for it. I'm just mostly doing my best to kind of make sure that we've proportioned enough. In it. So, and then again, I don't want to have like an excessive amount of resin because then I'd be just scraping extra off. So, it's not an exact science, but definitely one of those things that you just, like a fine wine, you know? You don't want too much, but you want enough to enjoy it. I'm not a wine drinker, though that made me maybe sound like one. Or it made me sound really naive and not like one. Since I'm not a wine drinker, I don't know. I don't drink a lot of wine. I don't drink a lot anyway, truthfully. Surprisingly, with my life, I don't. You could put a little tape on the back just to hold them down if you needed to. But where I've got this one hand glove, I think I'm okay. But I don't need to do that. I'm really liking this brush. I don't know where this brush came from. I think it was in some sort of kit, either a cup kit for my silicone cups that I get or ordered on Amazon maybe. I really don't know. And I don't usually use these brushes, but this one's working really nicely for this project. I am liking it. There's a big old patch with no resin. Get in there. Alright, let's do our ladder and see how we did. Maybe right there, need to put a little more. Oh, there's a hole of resin, or non-resin, and on that edge. Okay. Let's go up here. There's definitely a gap over in here. Okay. And the reason why you want to block your light is you do not want that light, that UV light, to be hitting your resin while you're working with it, because guess what? It'll start getting cured, and we would have some goopy resin that we were working with. It would become like very stringy and not well to work with. Even if you're not directly under the light, that blue light leaking over, best way I can say that, will affect it. So I have found that these two, they're like little styrofoam pieces that came with something that was packed and shipped to us, but they're black, and they've been like the best thing because they just block that completely. Oh my goodness, look at him. So just as like comparison of them, like look at the difference. It's a very shiny look. He's still a little tacky, surprisingly. I don't know if it's the coloring or something, or maybe just here on the edge where it ran over a little. I think them sitting for 24 to 48 hours is going to get that to cure right up. Because ultimately, UV resin, you don't even need a UV light. You can, sunshine will do it. I have found even my ring light will sometimes start to cure the resin if I'm not working fast enough. So definitely don't have to have the UV light, but if you want to go quicker, it's a must, because it's just going to take longer for things to cure if you're going with the sunlight and not using the UV resin light, UV light. So them sitting 24 to 48 hours just in the room will help that finish just curing right on up. And not worried about it. Plus you would want the UV light if you're going to do like jewelry items and things of that nature. You're not going to, those thick items, you're just not going to get a good cure on them just from the sunshine. Or it would take a really long time. I've never tried it because I've always had a UV light. Counterculture DIY makes a good UV light. And they've, since I've had my Counterculture one, they've apparently upped the wattage on it, so it even does better. I discovered this UV Let's Resin UV lamp just, I think I was scrolling through TikTok one day and saw it as it was getting ready to come out. They were launching it, and I love the idea that it has top and bottom so that it can cure from both the top and the bottom when I'm doing molds especially. And so I was like, this is a must for me, and I have absolutely loved it. It has definitely helped with like my molds. So you can use like a UV light that you would do to do acrylic nails. Just take all your UV resin projects to the salon. They'll love you. Just kidding. So this one I definitely put too much on. So I'm just scraping off some of the extras that I'm not needing, because we definitely ended up with more than we needed, which is fine. So we can just scrape it off. Yeah, it's looking really good. But the Let's Resin light, I ordered that on Amazon. Just watch all their Let's Resin stuff on Amazon. A little tip, it will go on sale usually from time to time, especially around Prime Day, or I know we're past Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but just be on the lookout. Like those types of things I put on my wish list, and I put them just in my cart. And a lot of times, like, Amazon will notify me anytime something dips in price. So, I mean, I didn't get a ton off, but I got some off. I don't typically pay the full listing price on it. You know, even if it's a couple bucks, that pays for the, helps pay for the tax. With Amazon, of course, as long as you have Prime, you're not going to be paying for shipping, which I absolutely hate to pay for shipping. So So that's my tip. And I've noticed that the Let's Resin stuff typically does go on sales relatively frequently. So if there's something on your wish list, but you're like, I don't need it today, I would just put it in your cart and catch it when it goes on a sale. Even their Let's Resin UV resin, for me to try it, I waited till it had like 5 or 10% off or something, or a couple bucks off, or you know, something that it was had a coupon that I applied to it, and then I was like, okay. Actually, on their UV resin, I think I put it on my subscribe and save so that I saved like 15% on it, and then I can just request, if I hated the resin, I would have just requested to not have it come on a regular basis, and if it pops up to come and I don't need it, then I can just skip it. But that's been handy. Oh, he looks so cute. It looks like there's a patch. This upper part, he's struggled with this upper part not getting filled in. I don't know why we've struggled so badly with that. But there's like a patch here that we just can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in where he needs it. Here, a little gap. There, a little gap. Here, a little gap. Everywhere, a little gap. What's that feel like? Is there like a resin song for those of us who resin? Nursery rhyme. So I'm just going to throw him in with this one, because there should be enough room on the tray. And truthfully, what I'll do is I'll turn him, you might not be able to see this, but like I'll turn the ear that needs more time underneath the lamp to where it definitely is in. And if part of his body is not in, then that's fine. So, yeah. 5 minutes. It's working out pretty good timing. It's not giving me a ton of downtime, which if you've watched any of my videos, you know I don't like. So I'm trying to keep my left hand kind of out because it does have resin on the glove. So I'm not trying to not touch things. So I'm holding it back out of the video just because I don't want to touch this bottle and get it all sticky. Not that I couldn't get a paper towel and do some rubbing alcohol and we would get it unsticky, but you know, just trying to prevent somewhat of a mess. It is a little bit hard to squeeze this bottle with one hand because we're coming to the end of the bottle, so it's just a little challenging. And I have to let it fill back up with air a little bit so that I can have room to squeeze it. And let the resin come down. Okay. I'm just kind of, again, going over our edges, doing a little scraping. I definitely see that we need, you know, just to move that resin around and in between. And if we end up with too much, we can always wipe our brush off. Just kind of slowly but surely. Oh, Michael's is sending me a text. Attention shoppers, up to 50% off. Like, I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want. Ever hit that point where you're just like, I'm overwhelmed? And that has been my life for the last month. I'm overwhelmed. I can't think about it. I don't know what I would want. It's like the Christmas hustle bustle. By the time this comes out, it'll be after Christmas, y'all. But just know that it is still a pre-Christmas for me here. So, yeah. This is a Christmas present for my sister-in-law, my daughter's aunt. So, yeah. She's like, Mom, I'm going to do these, but I'm going to need you to seal them. I'm like, you got it, babe. I'll get it done. And amongst 10,000 other things I'm trying to do. No worries. I finish up their ornaments soon. I get their pictures for their ornaments. We do these yearly ornaments. So, and I've done it ever since my oldest was born. But basically I have a list of family that gets an yearly ornament with, when of course she was a baby, it wasn't a school picture, but now that she's school age, it's a school picture that gets put on there. And then I continued that on with my little list. Saw a spot that didn't have much, and now I can't remember where it was, because I was jabbering. Maybe it's fine. No, I don't see it. Or maybe right in there, but it's not much. But, and I do a different, like, design. So sometimes it's been like a wooden ornament, and sometimes with the picture then added on. And, I mean, I've done all kinds of ways. One was like 10 cookie cutters with a picture inside the cookie cutter. Things like that. So this, I just started last year letting them help design them, which has made my life a lot easier, of course. You know, in some ways, gives me a little bit of anxiety letting them do the designing, because I'm like, I would do it a little different than that, but that's okay. That's okay. And so my youngest, I'll just show y'all their acrylic ornaments. So my youngest got glitter and glitter pins and glitter and glue, well, glitter with Mod Podge, and basically made, like, there's all kinds of designs, glitter everywhere. And we'll put a school picture in the middle, and then I'll put the year on the back. Oh, I was like, this one's really funky. So this one, like, I don't know if she realizes it's going to hang like this, but, so yeah, just kind of something fun. So that's what my littlest has done, and then I've got to put the pictures still on them. And then my oldest is going to do kind of a paint pour option, I think. And so, but I'm going to have to help her with that. We got a little extra on that edge, but we got it all. Oh yeah, looks really good. Might be a few spots, but honestly, unless you're like super duper looking, I don't think you're gonna notice. He looks a lot better. Got him all cleaned up. He did end up with a little extra on the edge. Well, it's still kind of pliable or soft from the heat of the light. You can just pop that right off, kind of thing. So put him back in. The UV light's getting some work today. Alrighty, we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're halfway. This one's not as big. I wish UV resin was like this liquidy. Like, I wish that I could just like, there we go, we got it done, but no. Okay, so I did, but that was rubbing alcohol that I was putting on there. So I was able to clean my glove off so that I can use it. Because, you know, I need to be miserable here trying to squeeze this. So yeah, we've been trying to get the ornaments done. Gotta get those finished. Then I do a yearly calendar for family members. Again, I have a whole list of who gets a calendar. Used to do each and every single person's was unique to them. Like different, might have different pictures, different layout, different theme. In the past few years, I've gotten a little bit smarter because we're running out of time. And now I pretty much, the pictures are all the same, but the events are different for each. Or like my husband and I have all the events, but like my side of the family only has like birthdays and things that would be things they would go after. And then his side of the family has things that, of events that would be for them. And we have somewhat commingling, so it's a little confusing because like my sister is 13 years younger. So a lot of times like on my in-laws and my sister-in-laws and brother-in-law's calendars, I put my sister's birthday and now her husband and their anniversary because, you know, they'll be here for Christmas even. Like this year, my sister and her husband are coming for Christmas. And we always do Christmas Eve at my in-laws' house. And so my sister and her husband will join us at my in-laws' house for those festives. And then they'll, of course, be at our house for Christmas Day, because we do Christmas Day here, so the kids can wake up to Santa gifts and that kind of stuff. Stockings, and we'll do like a little brunch here. So not everybody makes it for all the present opening at our house, but people can gather and get together again on Christmas Day. My family always celebrated Christmas Day, and his family always celebrated Christmas Eve. So when we got married and stuff, the agreement was that we would continue both traditions, basically. And that's how we've done it, is that kids get to be in their bed at night and wake up the next day to their Santa gifts and stocking. Let them open that stuff, and then we go and we open our family presents. I only take one present for each kid to my in-laws, and it's their traditional box. They get a traditional box which has a book in it, a pair of PJs, and their yearly ornament. They get a yearly ornament, not the yearly ornament with their picture. They get something that signifies them from that year. Like when they were younger, we've got like Paw Patrol or My Little Pony, things like that. This year, my youngest has a Doritos bag. It's an ornament, so it's hard. But she loves Doritos, so we're like, that's fitting. And for my oldest, we were able to pull off getting to take her to Taylor Swift. So I had an artist that has like a laser machine be able to cut out like a faux ticket, because they don't do actual tickets anymore. So like a faux ticket, and like with the seat number and everything from her concert, the date, where it was. So that's her ornament for this year. So it's fun. So those go with us to my in-laws. And then all their other presents are here at home. So we'll open those after they get their stuff from Santa. And then we do brunch. Depending on how long it's taken to open presents. Sometimes we'll break for brunch and go back to opening presents. Just all depends. Looks so good. I love it. There is one little spot on this ear that is rather noticeable because of where it is. So we're gonna just do a little, get that filled in. And the resin that's in this cup is very bubbly. So I'm going to pop bubbles. And then I'm going to also do a little scrape, just because it looked a little thick. And we'll put him in there first so I can turn him with that ear. And this one I'll use my glove because it shouldn't be anywhere that doesn't have resin. Which was a good thing because I ran my finger right over the top. 3. I'm going to try to use what's in this cup on this one so that we're not wasteful. I'll just start in the middle and, you know, work our way around kind of thing. The other tradition we do is with my sister, we do Christmas cookie baking, and that is oh so much fun. So this year we'll do that. Christmas Eve all day will be a baking day. We usually try to narrow down to about 6 or 7 recipes. I make a Christmas punch in the morning, and then from there we get to baking. You know, sugar cookies are cookies that need to be chilled, get made first so that the dough can go in the fridge and start chilling. And then we do Christmas crack, and sometimes we'll do 2 types of Christmas crack because I've got kiddos who don't like regular chocolate. They like milk chocolate, but they'll like white chocolate. So I've done Christmas crack with white chocolate before. And then regular Christmas crack. This year we've seen some variations of Christmas crack that I think we're going to try. And I've got one that my youngest loves oatmeal raisin cookies. So I know it's not like per se Christmassy, but you know what? You do what you gotta do for your children. And so we'll make those. We'll do like a Cool Whip cookie. Those are fun. They're light and fluffy. An ooey gooey butter cookie. Those are delish. Yeah. A lot of times I'll make a Chex Mix. Sometimes I do the muddy version or a strawberry version. Just kind of depends. But everybody has their own taste. So like my oldest wants the Cool Whip ones with red velvet. And they're so easy because you take like a cake mix, box of cake mix, and you mix it with Cool Whip. And so it's super easy to make. And maybe one other ingredient, maybe an egg or something. I can't remember. I have to look at the recipe. But, so she's like, I want to try the red velvet this year. Well, my littlest doesn't like the red velvet. She likes lemon though. So we'll do 2 batches. We'll do one with lemon, one with red velvet. You know. It's kind of crazy. And we always think, oh, we'll have all of this. Like, it won't take that long. But I will literally spend all day in the kitchen, which is such a blast, listening to Christmas music, jamming out, baking cookies. And yet, it is also extremely exhausting. So, by the end of the day, I'm like, okay, why do we do that? So, yeah. But it'll be fun. It'll be good times. This one looks really cute, too. They all look really cute. Who am I kidding? They're all so cute. Look. I got that one done a lot quicker. I don't know if it's because I had like a big amount to just be able to go right in. I don't know what that was about. I realized, like, why am I putting that on the coaster that I just got done? I think the issue is my seal wasn't right because it looks like UV resin has leaked out. There. So we're just, that was a fail of a tool to use. There's not much dripping in there, which is good. We only have 3 more, so yay, 3 more. not as long as probably my last video will be of the series that's getting ready to post. Right now, let's see, this video I'm recording a week and a half before Christmas, and it won't come out probably till beginning of January. So that just kind of gives you a timeline about how far back I am, or ahead I am in the post start. I don't know. I hear my podcasters always get confused. I'm like, don't you just have a schedule? And now that I do the YouTube videos, I'm like, don't you just do a schedule? And it's like, even with the schedule, I can't keep up of where I'm at and when this will actually post. And I actually have a pretty good assessment of where I am. Like the next series that's going to go out next week, we just finished up the 5th. So this video just finished up this series 5 with UV resin experimenting, and the next series will be a 3-parter. So I kind of do know where that is. I wonder, I think she was supposed to take a plastic off of the back of these. Like, I just realized this film sits on the back, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get her. I don't know if that was on all of them, or... Yep. Okay, so we'll figure that one out. Sometimes when you don't supervise them when they're doing a project, you know? Little things like that. It's okay. Ugh, just stuck my finger right in it again. Nope, because that's got UV resin on it. Okay. Wipe this hand off so that we're not all gross again. Not that it's gross, but you know. And I am going to sneak a drink of my water, because, you know, when you're talking and so forth. Alright, so 3 more, and then we'll figure out the back sides of them. How that is, like, goodness. Yeah, this, I was just saying, this container's about out, and then that happened. I'm like, yeah. So we're going to go to our other container, because I don't got time to sit there fooling with it for too long. We'll let it stay upside down and maybe get some more out of it. But. So this came in a 2-pack. So I just had taped my other nozzle that goes on top to the bottle so I wouldn't lose it. And that's how I kept up with it. These things are a pain to get off. So using a pair of little tweezers. And there's really not much UV resin up here, so like I got a little sticky, but nothing major. Okay. Let's do that. Oh yeah, much easier to be able to go. And felt this. I was like, there's no way we're gonna make it with that one coming to an end. Felt like it had more than that in it, but apparently not. Might have almost been easier to just pour some in our cup and did it, but it's okay. There was a hair there. It's okay. We kind of have our rhythm going now, so you know, if it's something I do more, I'll probably work on technique more, but if it's just kind of a once in a blue, I mean, don't fix what isn't broken is what I say. And right now, this is what's working, so we're not gonna try to come up with a different plan for it. Yeah, that's looking so good. So good. Love when it just kind of comes together. Better than the back, so I'm gonna have to take those films off. It's all good. She's never worked with the other coasters she did was wood coasters. She's done 3 sets now. One for herself and one for her other aunt and then this aunt. The other, I guess the first set was also wood. I guess. So she hasn't done like an acrylic blank before. So she wouldn't have known that that back is not permanently on there. And it just happenstance that last one, it was definitely curling. So I was like, wait a moment. Okay, let's check this with the ladder run. I think I'm running out of fluid in it. There's a gap there. A gap in that ear. A gap down here. Okay. You know, didn't fully get it. There we go. Yeah. Okay, let's see you. Oh yes, he's so cute. I love how they're turning out. This is way easier than doing the resin pour. Like if you watch that series where we pour the resin on the wooden coasters, that took a whole heck of a lot longer. This is taking, so this is a nice alternative. Definitely gives you a different look, but of course is an alternative to doing that too. So I'll leave that there. Honestly, there's not really much in this lid. I might be able to get a little bit, but I don't even know if I can get any. Like the tiniest bit. Probably wasn't even worth me attempting to, but you know. You know me, I gotta make sure that I don't have waste, so there was this making sure we didn't have waste. Really wasn't worth it. So this cup that I had it in upside down does have some resin still on the bottom. So I'll just put a little rubbing alcohol in it to break that resin down and then wipe it out and it'll be fine. That's the great thing about silicone cups is, you know, it'll wipe out and be good. So we got a little bit out of here. I'm going to say that it is good. We have gotten our money's worth out of that container. So, that's nice. UV resin does go a long ways. Like, these look like really small bottles, and I mean they are smallish, but it lasts a long time. You can do a lot of projects with it, so I wouldn't say panic. You'd be surprised at how much. I mean, heck, we're covering 10 coasters, you know, and I guess if it was more fluid, like rubbing alcohol, like I want it to be, you probably wouldn't get as much coverage. So, you know, the fact that we're going to be able to do 10 coasters, and that was a partial bottle, like we're not even going to use a full bottle for these. So, I would say that's pretty amazing. And granted, we're not covering the diamonds to where they're smooth on top like you would regular resin. So just in that we're going to use less, but even still, I feel like this has been a pretty good trade-off. Okay, I see a gap right there. So, get some of this, fill that in. One thing, I don't know if you've noticed, but like I kind of go this way and then I go this way, just making sure that, you know, we're hitting all the angles with it to make sure that it gets coated. Always that big old bubble and it went pop. Probably couldn't see it on video, but it was satisfying. So got a little gap there, got a little gap there, not major. Right there. Cool. Love it. When I see a little bit run off the side, I just am going ahead and scraping that off because no need for us to have to fight with it later. This can get cleaned off with just a little rubbing alcohol, and that brush is cleaned up. Okay. Oh, he's so cute. Like, is that gap noticeable? Of course, because I'm an artist, I see that gap right away. So, yeah, we's gonna fix it. You know, it's one of those things, like, if I didn't have my artist eye on, I'd probably just say it's not a big deal, because it probably really isn't a big deal, but to my artist brain, it's a big deal. So, it can go under there. This one to go under there. Oh, that's me. Here we go. In my mind, for some reason, I was like, okay, we need it on 5 minutes. I gotta count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I gotta hit it 5 times. No. You don't. But that's okay. Alrighty. Last coaster. Getting coated in resin. Round and round we go. Where they stop, nobody knows. And I'm really not going in any consistent, like, form or fashion. Just get the resin out. There's a big old bubble right there. Not sure if you can see it on camera, but if you can, I'm gonna go ahead and pop it so that we can get the satisfaction of it going pop. Because this is fun to do. Might have put too much, but maybe not. Because as we get into the face of it, there's a lot of little crevices. So. But probably got a little too much because we're definitely, and as we're doing that, it's making that bubbly just because, you know, we're going over a bunch of bumps and it's creating air pockets in it. That's our science lesson today. Thanks for joining for Beck's Creations Science of the Day. Not that that was really sciencey, but you know, felt a tad sciencey. Yeah, have fun where we can, right? Got to. Can't take ourselves too seriously. Like tomorrow's Monday. Joy, joy, joy. Back to the world of work. Okay. So let's go over that with the lighter fully. Just make sure, yep, that was a big old bubble on the tip of the ear. Looking good. Looking good. There is a little bit here. Okay. I'm liking it. Now, I've got some extra UV resin. And I have these flower molds that I was using at the end of the last series that still have mica in them. So I'm just gonna throw this UV resin in there. Because at this point, it's like, whatever happens with it happens. It's not anything, like, not doing it for a particular thing by any means, but also don't want to waste it. So we'll just throw it in there. And this can get filled with a little bit of the rubbing alcohol and be sufficient too. I'm just going to fill this one up since we didn't have quite enough to do this big of one. But it was too much to fill those with, so. You know, just get it a little bit. And there is a huge bubble in that one. There's some micro bubbles for sure. We're not going to be able to get them. But that big old bubble we didn't want in there. And I see a bubble here. Come on. Okay. Cool. And then just wipe off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. This one separates, like it goes like that, which is somewhat of annoying. That would be the only downside to this one, but that's okay. Oh, that was close. Oh, of course I see like just the littlest opening right there, so I'm just gonna put like the smallest amount. And we'll put it back under for that part. Again, I just suddenly thought, oh, we have to do it for 5 minutes. Nope, you don't. Okay, so I'm not worried about the UV light hitting this now because, like, they're where they need to be and they'll get put under in a minute. So it's completely fine. So that part I'm not worried about. I'm going to clean up the bottom of this cup. And I'm just using that same paper towel I've been using. And then I'll get a fresh one and do it. And then I'm going to use the same one just to get the initial round of that resin out. And then I'll get a clean one. And this is just rubbing alcohol. Nothing fancy. Just throw it on a paper towel. You've heard me say it before. The most wasteful item I have probably for my crafting is my paper towels. And that's just because I go through a lot to clean up my silicone cups. Alright. So, and then basically that rubbing alcohol will evaporate, essentially. And that is clean. And we've got our space, surprisingly, for the most part, put back together. That was like the easiest project in the sense of it didn't create a ton of mess. So I didn't have to worry about like a massive cleanup, which was nice. Didn't have tools everywhere that couldn't get easily put back away, which is another triply nice here. Whoop. Yeah, that fell. Okay. So that's been nice. I like when that's easy. These were the brushes that I was using for the mica in that last round. Last series. Last episode of the last series. So, just doing a quick clean of them before I put them back away. Because see, like, I didn't even get stuff put away from that series. This is the tray for the coasters. It's so cute. Little holder that comes with them. I mean, it's adorable. It's adorable. Okay, so let's see if we can... So basically with acrylic blanks, you have to protect the acrylic in the shipping, I guess, process. They put these thin layers over it. So that's what was left on them. And these came with these backs. They weren't on the coasters when they came. So, she stuck those on, but what I'm finding is if I can get the backing to peel off, then that peels off, and then I can peel the cork circle from that. I was like, otherwise, they're not getting the cork circle on the back. Well, I just have to roll with it. But what I don't want to happen as over time, like this one started to bubble up, it's going to bubble up and peel, and then that's strange. So, luckily, fairly, relatively easy fix. I was a little bit worried that that would be stuck, the cork portion would be stuck to the plastic, but it's proving to be relatively smooth. Oh yeah, so that's peeling. I think the UV light helped maybe pull those up a little bit to separate some. The acrylic ornaments we're doing, they have them on there, and so here's one of the ornaments before like pulling those off, and this, it's got a backing on both sides, and oh my goodness, it's like really challenging to get off, to the point like I have to use a Cricut tool basically. So like a Cricut weeding tool, and just get up underneath it to start it, and then, I mean, look at this. Still, I'm struggling, and then peel that back. And that's just one side. Then you have this side that you have to do. So, yeah. Fun, fun, fun. I actually, and I hope my daughter didn't lose it, because I told her, don't you dare lose this tool. I gave her my needle pin to peel them. But I don't think I got it back from her. Just thought of it. So, yeah. That's fun. Okay, let's pop these in. I'm going to go ahead and do them for 5 too, just because, and I should clean the top of that off because it's a little tacky. So yeah, these are a lot easier to do. Just saying. Just saying. These coasters are just adorable. But I will say, when I did that last one there with the cork and tried to use my glove to take the cork off, then I got stuck to it. So don't do it that way. I was doing it the smart way before. Peel with my right. Grab the cork with the non-gloved hand so that you're not getting sticky on it. I'm out of room on my tray, so I'm just going to leave these two down here. Just set up. Looky. Ah, piece of cured resin stuck to my finger. Looky there. Looky there. I love it. I absolutely love it. So this was a super easy, relatively easy project. That you could easily just throw together, you know. If you like diamond painting, super fun. This is 5D diamond painting. They have all kinds of coaster options, picture awesome options, paintings, all kinds of ones. Like, I've done several, my daughter's done several. It's a lot of fun. They've got garden things that you like, plant sticks that you do the little diamond art and then put it on a stick that comes with it and put it in your plants. The options out there that they have come up with are absolutely endless. So check it out if you're into that kind of stuff, because sealing it was really easy. For the pictures, like the paintings that we do that are bigger, we just frame them. I don't even cure them with resin because it's just easy to frame it and be done. Before I let you go, and I'm sorry, my throat is really dry today, so I'm like gulping water on you guys, so I do apologize, but I wanted to do this tutorial, so it just is what it is. But before I let you go, or before I go, whichever way you want to look at it, before you're free, I am going to unmold those, so we'll let them finish curing up for us so that you can see those get unmolded. I'm so excited. This is my last project before Christmas. I don't have any more resin projects that gotta get done. I have a cross stitch project that's gotta get done, but it's getting close. So this will be my last video before Christmas, but of course you guys will get it after Christmas. So I'm hoping that Forward You has had a wonderful Christmas, or Forward Me, I don't know. It's all confusing. You know what I'm trying to say. Hoping that you and yours had a wonderful Christmas and that you got to spend it with family. If that's your thing. I guess some people maybe don't want to spend it with family, and that's fine too. Oh, come on. I probably only needed to do those 2 or 3 minutes, but it's what it be. I'm going to take a little rubbing alcohol on my paper towel and just wipe the top of this gently. Take off any of that UV resin that was tacky. I'm gonna call it. They're probably done. Oh yeah, they ended up with a couple bubbles, but they're really pretty. This mold is stunning to me. I just love this mold. But that helped clean up my mica that was in there. And this is another really stunning mold. Like, look at that flower. That's just pretty. And that's just a fun one. So, you could paint these, throw it in a jar or something. It was just more to help clean up our molds a little bit. I'm going to throw a little bit of rubbing alcohol in them. They're probably, like that one might be permanently dyed in the blue. But we'll see. We'll just do that. And I'll wipe those out in a little bit. I hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.